Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to Knowles Garden Tractors and Firewood. And today is January 7th, Tuesday, 2025. So already we have a week gone in the year, just like that. So I had a little bit of snow overnight, just kind of some light flurries, but it probably put down an inch of snow, I guess. So that's going to stay right where it is so that I can hopefully make a new snow base, because I lost all my snow base last week from the January thaw that was in December. Anyway, I was thinking this morning, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have a roller like you would for your lawn and roll that and make a base out of it. They used to do that down in Maine, I think. They used to have horses and they would drag large rollers over the snow to kind of make roadways. Anyway, I'm not going to move any of that today, that's for sure. So I'll get to the weather here. I guess we're going to do a little moisture tests on the slab wood that I took in, and do you stack or do you put it in piles when you're trying to dry it or season it or whatever you want to call it. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll do the weather here. So we are at minus 4 degrees Celsius, and it looks like we have freezing drizzle coming down. And it's 25 degrees Fahrenheit. West-northwest wind again at 9 miles an hour. And today's supposed to get to 0 degrees with flurries. Flurries tonight. Tomorrow is flurries and -1 and periods of snow tomorrow night. And then flurries on Thursday and 1 degree, and then periods of snow or rain Thursday night, 1 degree. And 1 degree and chance of flurries on Friday. And then from Friday night on, it's just cloudy. And we have some -2, -4, -6, -8 there. So almost kind of like a January thaw there, Thursday and Friday, with the 1 degree above 0. And in January too, look at that now. Sorry. Anyhow, I would say that wrong. A west-northwest wind. So I'm going to go outside and show you where that's coming from. And you didn't see this yesterday. When you saw me getting covered in the snow, it was just the light snow I was doing here in front of the garage. I got completely covered here. Afterwards, the video part that they didn't take of me cleaning over here. Well, I got this cleaned and over by the tank, and got this stuff here cleaned away. But standing right here like this, you kind of see that point there where the stick is. That is where the west-northwest wind is blowing directly to you. It's kind of hard to see it now, but we did have a little bit of snow falling here earlier, and you could kind of see it coming towards me when I was standing here. So this part yesterday, when I was trying to blow this part out, I was just as white as that snowbank there. It just, even with the tractor down on almost idle with it, and it was no problem to blow the snow, but the snow was blowing back on top of me. I was just covered. And when that fine snow lands on you, for some reason it just soaks the heat right out of you. Even though it's not on your skin, it just sucks the heat right out of you. Anyway, so that's the normal way the wind blows here, coming from that barn over there basically, or over by that house that's behind the tree, or over by those garbage cans down over there. That's the main direction that the wind comes in the winter. Sometimes from northeast, and that's coming in the driveway towards the garage. So when I'm blowing the snow, with the wind going the way it's normally going, from over there across the driveway up towards the woods there, that's the way I always blow the snow anyway, because it's going to the woods. But you get the trying to come back this way into the wind, well, that's a different story. And then you get the vacuum from the house, and then you get the vacuum from the garage here, and even that little building kind of adds to that. So not having a chute deflector on the case tractor snow thrower does make it kind of difficult. And like I say, idling it down and blowing snow ahead of you, it does help, but it didn't yesterday. I was just completely white. A lot worse than what you saw in the videos. So some thinking may go ahead and maybe come up with something to move that chute downward when I want to, off the seat of the tractor. I suppose I could get off and change it, but I don't like that. Like this one here, that power window motor, that only takes about a second to go from that position to the full down position. And the same with these two with the hydraulics. Matter of a second and it's down, 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 down. Now if I had to use one of those yesterday, or this one over here, Dave's favorite tractor with the cab, I wouldn't have got covered with snow, because I could have put the snow downward enough that it wouldn't have blown up and on top of me. With that there chute, or with either one of these two. And of course with the cab, Dave, you don't get any snow on you, or very little. This is certainly not an airtight cab. You know, it's got openings that you can see into the cab. And underneath there, it's all open in there. And there's openings in the front over there where your feet go. There's openings on the top of the door. It certainly does help, though. So it's a great thing, the cab. Dave will come around to my thinking soon, I think. Or Dave. He's going to be mad at me and disown me, I think, maybe. Anyway, on to what I was supposed to be doing here and thinking about. This slab wood here, oh yes, I got that is cleaned out. That's the end of that wall of wood there. That is gone. So that's what's in the stove. And that's done, so now I'm going to have to start at this row here today to keep the heat on. And you can see here, look at how much that's dropped since I put it in there. I guess probably in August or so, I think, or July maybe. I could get another row of wood in there. And when I put it in here, I was using a hammer to pound some in at the top. That's how much it settles and shrinks from drying in here. So today's topic is going to be stacked wood or piled wood. Well, that's stacked wood. But it's inside and it's already basically dried. So this, when I took it in, this slab wood, was all wet. But it was froze. But it had been wet and then froze. And I don't know, but I think froze wood, it evaporates quicker than wet wood. So it would dry out quicker. I could be wrong on my thinking there, but frozen wood does dry because the ice evaporates. And that's just the way that is. So I'm going to get my moisture meter out here, and I'm going to show you just a couple of things. So what I'm going to do today is put that wood over there, and then when I finish that mowing deck up there with the green milk carton on it, that mowing deck will go and lean up against that mowing deck for the rest of the winter. So what I'm going to do today is, like, this is all just thrown in and not necessarily stacked. If it was stacked like that, and of course being slab wood, it's all flat basically, so you have two surfaces mating together and basically touching with no air going through. So when I took that stuff in here, it was all wet. I had put this little fan on it, and that's been going on it since last Friday. And I took a piece off of here yesterday, a flat piece off of this one, and out here and maybe up in that area was dry, looking like that. This stuff in here, this was all wet in here. This read 16%, this read 24%. So no air getting to it. So that's your wind right there, no matter how you make it. So we'll have a look here. See this one here, these two flat pieces. They're sitting right on top, one's on top of the other, so no air can get in underneath that. Wet. So everybody has their argument about, do you stack your wood to dry it and season it, or do you just pile it, or whatever. I'm kind of beginning to think that just put in a pile is the better solution, because you're not touching as much wood. There's more air going to get around the pieces of wood. Wet and dry. So we'll have a look and see what we got here for moisture. I can do this one-handed. All right. I'll try this one right here. I can't get into it tight enough because I can't hang on to it again. Let's try this way. There. All right, what have we got there? 16.9 on the dry part of that piece of wood. The air's been blowing on it since last Friday. So on the wet part of the wood, right here, where the air has not been blown on it, because this piece was sitting flat on top of it, and that one is 23%. 23% in the wet. %16 in the dry. So if you're stacking your wood and it's touching together quite a bit, there's your result there. It's not going to dry. And I know if I left that until tomorrow, I'd come back, then that would be dry, because this one was wet, like this one, last night when I went in the house. And it looks dry today. So we'll try over here again. This is where I tried last night. I can get a push on it here. 16.9 over here in the wet. It was wet yesterday and today is dry. 19.5. Yesterday that was 24%. There you go. Alright, so that piece there in the middle where it was wet here yesterday has already dropped about 4% since last evening in moisture. Anyway, that's just my take on it. I don't know. Everybody has their own way. So. But there is no doubt that if you have both touching together, there's not going to be any air get to it, and it won't dry. So I think piling is the better solution. Now, if it's stacked, it's not necessarily going to be as tight as that, I suppose, this onto that, but you're not going to have much of a gap there either. So anyway, what I'm going to do is just throw that into the corner, and I'll adjust my fan just to blow on it, and I'm not going to stack it. I'm just going to pile it if I can. And there's some that are going to sit flat on each other, and that's just the way it is. Not much I can do with that. But anyway, I'll get back to you in a little bit. So about 2 hours later, with that sitting there in the breeze of the little fan here, that piece of wood is dry on the top now. So if I had left this over on there like that, it would still be wet in there. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking that the piling is better than the stacking for drying purposes. It's just my opinion. Everybody has theirs. Now, for space-wise, you pretty near have to stack it. If I threw all that wood in there in a pile, it'd be out past the Massey Ferguson 12 here. Out around here, I would say, over by the compressor, and it would only be maybe as tall as the bottom of the black deck there. A little higher at the back as you go in. But so stacking definitely takes up less room. So some people don't like stacking and some do, and it really doesn't make much difference to me if I stack or if I don't stack it. But I do think having it piled where the wood has got more area for air to flow through as compared to being stacked like that. Easier for wind to get through that pile. Just my opinion again. Anyway, there's today's video. I didn't know what to do for a video today, so and we'll have to get back on to something else here soon. I'd like to get the flag on the back of that tractor. I'd like to get my handle there raised up so it's easier to turn the chute. And I'd like to figure out a power system to move that deflector down when I want to from the tractor seat, just like that one. And that's I think a power window motor on that one. And these both here, both of them are hydraulic. Boy, they work so quick, them hydraulic ones. Ooh, boy. Yep, dandy. All right, I guess that's enough rambling and going on foolish. We'll cut her off at that for now. And get the fire going. And there we are. All right, goodbye now. I just wanted to take you back here just for a minute just to show you. You can see here where I took a piece of wood off of this wood here, the wet from the other piece laying on top of it. And the same here. Dry, wet. Anyway, we're getting her moved across here, so I'll just do a little bit more. I'm trying to just pile them there so that they'll have airflow in between. There you can see there where the wood was sitting on that piece. There. So if the wood is touching each other, then it doesn't dry. So there's another one. So if it's piled like that and you're trying to dry it, I would think it'd be kind of hard because there'd be more areas getting touched together in that than there would be down here in a pile, I think, anyway. Anyway, here we go, rambling again. So thanks for following along, and we'll chat with you later.